like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. Ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get...
Hello everybody and welcome to round 4 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama Tire. We are here at Iowa Speedway for the 0.65 miles circuit. It is one of the more unique circuits on the calendar, this 9-round calendar, nearing the halfway point. And I cannot wait for this Yokohama Advan team stream here on Apex Racing TV. My name is Dane Baird, and alongside me in the commentary booth is not Joshua Lee. It is Jim Hodgson. Welcome, Jim. And I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely thrilled to be here. Just watching the timing tower now, and it looks like we're going to have a really exciting race.
Yeah, absolutely. The drivers have just finished qualifying then, and on pole position, none other than Mr. Johan Harth for Team Yokohama Advan with a 35.513. Lining up alongside him, qualified in 5th, but will start on 2nd in heat number 1 is Josh Fox for Hanson Williams Esports. Then we've got Rasmus Tuominen, Ilari Lamintsivu, round 1 winner of course, Garrett Lowe, Marcos Matamoros, and Alexi Heikkinen for the first of our 7 car heats. So we've got 4 heats coming up for you. The top 2 from each of those are going to head straight into our feature, the final race of the day. And then everyone else is going to go into one of the 2 last chance qualifiers, up to 10 cars in each of those. I think we're going to have 9 in each here today. We're missing 2 drivers from the field. As you can see, the drivers heading up onto the grid. Just got to wait for 2 more, it seems. There is Johan Harth in the number 90 Subaru. And I've been told that he's racing on his dad's wheel today because his regular rim broke this morning. Of all times, he hasn't had much time to prepare for that. But it is time then. The lights are on. We're ready to race here for heat number 1 at Iowa Speedway. And we go green then. It's a good start for Johan Harth. He's got the inside line covered off. And he heads through towards the jump. Up and over the jump he goes. And they're going to start lap number 1. It's a good start for Johan Harth. He leads heading into turn the number 1 and 2. Let's see who's going to take to the Joker then the first time around. He opts to stay out. A couple of drivers, I think that was Josh Fox. And also it was Alexi Heikkinen, I think, who took to the Joker. Have come through the hairpin now. The other drivers that just Joker, maybe starting lap 2 already. Johan Harth still has this the final little sector of the circuit on the NASCAR oval. He goes round the final couple of corners to start lap number 2.
Yeah, that looked like a great first lap to me. Picture perfect, if you don't mind my saying so. I mean, you know, you'd expect a quality lap like that out of a guy who qualified, first of all.
Absolutely. Choosing not to take the Joker. I don't expect any surprise Jokers from now until the end of the race. I don't think until lap number 5. Johan Harth currently sitting in 6th position according to the timing tower, but we are potentially experiencing some issues with our timing tower, which is why it's not on the screen yet. We might see it in just a few moments time. There is Johan Harth and John Robertson. John currently our championship standings leader for Team Yokohama Tire. He's done an absolutely fantastic job, and it looks like we've got the timing tower. There it is on the top left-hand side of the screen. Rasmus Tuominen. And we've got Josh Fox and Alexi Heikkinen. Johan Harth currently leading the drivers who haven't taken to the Joker with 2 laps to go in heat number 1. Remember, the top 2 will head to the feature.
Well, just going by faces of concentration there, I think I'm going to give the concentration prize so far to Johan Harth. He really is looking at his monitor like it's everything that matters to him in the world, which I'm sure that it is at this moment.
Garrett Lowe has just taken to the Joker on lap 4 or 5 then, which just leaves Johan Harth, Ilari Lamintsivu and Marcos Matamoros to still take theirs. They're going to all take it on the final lap of the race, it seems. But it would be good to have maybe the intervals on, because it is, Jim, the longest Joker, or the shortest, I guess you could say, Joker Delta on the calendar of 11.3 seconds. That is going to be going to play a massive role in all of these races. Let's see. Johan Hart, he's going to pull right now. Instead of continuing on the main route through the Joker, he goes perfect Joker, it seems, and there he goes. 2 seconds ahead of Rasmus Tuominen as he comes out of the Joker. He's going to come around the final 2 corners now, and he's almost made it look easy. 2.5 seconds almost. He comes over the jump, and there he goes to win heat number 1. That is a spot in the feature secured. He'll start on pole position for that. Brilliant stuff for Johan Hart.
Absolutely. You were 100% right about the way he took that Joker. Pretty tough chicane right there as you enter that Joker lap, and he managed it no problem at all.
Rasmus Tuominen will join him in the feature, but for Josh Fox, the Lorry Elements interview, Garrett Lowe, Alexei Heikkinen, Marcos Matamoros, those 5 drivers will head to the consolation races, the C main or the B main. Here is then the grid for heat number 2. John Robertson for Team Yokohama Adman, qualified in 2nd overall, starts first on the grid for heat number 2. Bobby Zelensky for Subaru Motorsports USA in 2nd. Then Apex Racing Team's Jake Robertson, the brother of John Robertson, the younger brother, about 18 months younger to be exact. Adria Perez will line up on 4th with Denny Michani in the Nitro Circus car. And then his teammate in the Nitro Circus car alongside him, Sindre Silva, the Apex Racing Academy driver. And we are waiting for Garrett Maines, who had a qualifying ban for this race, which is why he will start at the back of the grid. The lights are on then, revs are rising, we're ready to race here for heat number 2. And we go green once again, and it looks like a fairly good start for Robertson. He manages to close off the gap to his brother behind. Bobby Zelensky trying to hold all the way around the outside, but Robertson has got the advantage to head over the jump to start lap number 1. Into turn 1 they go, and it seems pretty much unchanged side by side further back. But John Robertson keeps the lead. And here we go on board with Jake Robertson. He's taken to the Joker. He will lead the pack in onto lap number 2 then. You can see John Robertson on the bottom. There he is inside the cockpit of his car. Jake Robertson on board in sim on the top right hand side, but focusing on John Robertson on the left hand side. There he is. And he's got Bobby Zelensky for company just behind. So not quite as a convincing lead as Johan Hart had. But we'll have to see where he comes out when he eventually takes his Joker. I don't expect him to take it now. I would expect him to leave it until the last lap, much like we saw his Yokohama Advan teammate Johan Hart do.
Interesting how slightly different Robertson's line is here versus his teammate in the previous heat. He doesn't seem to hang it out quite as much when he goes over that jump.
Very different lines. You can take your IO. It's pretty wide throughout, to be fair. You can see there's a lot of room there. The jump is particularly difficult here because as you enter the jump, you are still turning around that final corner. It's a very tricky final corner here. That makes the jump very difficult, much like Phoenix, which we will see, I believe, for the final round of the season. There is Jake Robertson on the top right of the screen, John Robertson on the left-hand side. You can see the gap between the two and the massive gaggle of cars behind Jake. I believe that was possibly Sindre Silva in there and Garrett Maines as well. And there it goes, John Robertson through there as well. Remember, Joker Delta, 11.3 seconds we're expecting. So we have to try and catch up that gap just a little bit just to be safe. Although it is his brother, he's not going to be quite so worried. Bobby Zelensky sets a personal best, but John Robertson extended by around about 2/10 that lap.
Yeah, it looked like a slight mistake there on that inside hairpin by Robertson. Cut the corner just a little bit close and hit one of those bollards, but it doesn't seem to have bothered him too terribly. He's still out in the lead there.
Well, time for the white flag. Jake Robertson, that is, crosses the line. You see the times on the top left, the intervals between the drivers, and from what I can do with my GCSE maths, I can work out, it looks like John Robertson is going to out. There he goes through the Joker. There goes Bobby Zelensky on the top right of the screen. Jake Robertson's going to come out in 3rd, but John Robertson pretty convincingly out in the lead, coming through the final couple of corners now. Onto the up and over the jump he goes, and just like his teammate Johan Hart, John Robertson will take the win for heat number 2. That will secure him 2nd position in the feature race grid. Joining him will be Bobby Zelensky. Jake Robertson will have to settle for a pole position in the consolation race 9 cars are going to be in that, and only the winner will go through. So a bit of work still left for Jake Robertson. But for John and Bobby Zelensky, it is going, well, they're going straight to the feature. And yeah, we get 2 more heats now. We've got an Apex Racing team driver, not a Team Yokohama Advan driver, but Jonathan Paya in the number 15 car. The Frenchman starting all the way down in 5th. Mitchell de Jong, 2018, the inaugural champion, starting on pole for this one. Tommy Holman in 2nd. Vincente Salas in 3rd. Bo Albert in 4th. Jonathan Paya in 5th. And Henrik Krogstad will start on 6th. Slightly smaller grid for the final 2 heat races. We are missing 2 drivers, of course, from the full 28 car lineup. 26 cars have arrived at Iowa Speedway today. Just waiting for the last 2. There they are, Holman and Sadas. And we are ready to race. Time for heat number 3 here at Iowa Speedway. The lights are on, the revs are rising. And we go green. I think De Jong might have actually got a bit of a jump start. He was creeping forward ever so slightly as the lights went out. But look how far wide he's gone. He's pushed right into Holman, and that's allowed Salas to get into the lead. Oh, big contact. That is Holman into the starting block, into the timing tower, really. And that looked like it might have been Paya involved in that one as well. Bo Albert, the only driver to take to the Joker on lap number 1, but that was a huge impact for Tommy Holman over the jump, just out of control and slams into that like tower, really.
Yeah, it looked like trouble as they were lining up to go over the jump. Everybody nose to tail. I think they were already getting into one another's quarter panels there, but sad to see it go that far.
Young is 2nd in this pack of drivers that haven't taken to the Joker. He looks up the inside of Salas, still side by side as they exit the dirt section. Salas with a great move around the outside. He goes, and now De Jong has the inside. Salas holds it around the outside. They're coming towards the left-hand hairpin now. Salas will have the inside line. Driver's almost making contact. Rumming is racing, of course. De Jong up onto the oval. Salas staying on the apron. De Jong around the outside, but Bo Albert is currently leading the race out in front. The only driver to have jokered, of course. And we all have to see. It looks like De Jong's still behind Salas. Are they going to take to the Joker? I thought De Jong might. If Salas didn't go to the Joker, De Jong would. And he's come out side by side with Bo Albert, but he has enough extra speed coming out of that Joker to be able to come straight out ahead of Bo. But I think he might have lost a fair bit of time there.
Yeah, fantastic battle just over the last couple of laps between these 2 cars.
Albert's heading to purple. A purple lap there, fastest lap of the race. Joker laps do not count, so although De Jong's time was 11 seconds faster, that definitely doesn't count towards the fastest lap of the race. Does anyone take to the Joker now? No, they don't. Actually, Henrik Krogstad does, but he's going to line up in 3rd position then. Paya still holding line behind Vincente Salas and Tommy Holman right at the end. I think he has actually retired. Unfortunately, yeah, it looks like he has. 2 laps down currently. So we will not be seeing any more of Holman in this race. De Jong with the fastest lap of the race so far, and it's time for Vincente Salas in his VW Beetle to take to the Joker round turns 1 and 2. He goes. He's going to take a hard right here into this very tricky chicane, as you said, Jim. And he's going to come out behind De Jong. Is he going to have enough closing speed to make a move into the final corner? I don't think he will. He still has a bit of a look up the inside to come around the final corner. It is going to be De Jong who wins heat number 3. And Vincente Salas will take the 2nd transfer spot. Bo Albert will take the 1st of the non-transfer down on the pit area. Jonathan Paya finishing in 5th. Everyone heading to the consolation, other than Mitchell de Jong and Vincente Salas, out of that heat. And yeah, we can see the heat 3 result on the screen. Then really unfortunate for Tommy Holman, though. I mean, he just came over the jump. They almost looked like they were going 3 wide, just behind Mitchell. Oh, sorry, Salas. Just behind Vincente Salas there as they came over the jump, and he just got slammed into the barrier there. Heat 4 then. The grid up on the screen. Joni Jolakainen starts on pole with Otto Taskinen just behind for Williams Esports Team Razor. We've got Tommy Macklin in 3rd, Connor Parisi in 4th, Killian Delolmo the Dirt Rally 2.0 World Champion in 5th. And Cabot Bigham for Jim Beaver Esports will start in 6th. The final heat before we head to the last chance qualifiers. Racing goes so fast here at Iowa Speedway. We are ready to race then. The lights are on. And we go green for the final time in the heat races. It's a good start from Joni Alakainen there. And they're going to go all the way around the outside. A little bit of contact. And who was that? Turned around. Oh my goodness, Joni Alakainen barrel rolling, mimicking his teammate Tommy Holman from the previous heat. And that looked like it was Killian Delolmo that joined him. Oh dear. See if we can get a replay of that, because that was a huge incident. I think it was between these two drivers on screen, Joni Alakainen and Killian Delolmo, in that white and yellow Set Esports machine. There is Cabot Bigham. It says he is leading on the little icon but next to his name. These two drivers, that is Otto Taskinen just ahead of him. And we do have the replay coming up, I believe, for that start incident. Let's have a look. Joni Alakainen on the inside. Oh, a little bit of a tap from Cabot Bigham. He hits the jump sideways, and that sends him barrel rolling. Not quite as dramatic as what happened to Tommy Holman in the previous race, but still definitely not what he would have wanted. Cabot Bigham still leads this race, or does he? No, he doesn't. Sorry, Otto Taskinen leads this race of the drivers who have jokered. As I believe we're starting lap number 3 now. Cabot Bigham is going through the S section here. We've got the timing tower back, and we have Jim back, I believe.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, PCs being what they are sometimes.
Well, we lost you for a moment. The action was incredible, as I really hope you saw. Joni Alakainen taking a bit of a tumble. He has got his work cut out for him if he wants to try and get into the feature. I think he's almost guaranteed to be heading into the consolation at this point, unless he can really get a move on. There's Connor Parisi for Ed Carpenter racing up and over the jump. You can see the jump really throws the car almost rolling on its side over the jump, because they are turning while they're hitting the lip of that jump. Oh, Alakainen goes through. Oh wow, Alakainen straight up into second as he takes the Joker. And he's catching Otto Taskinen around about a second behind. He now is not safe though, because Connor Parisi is still within that Joker Delta range. He has to get a move on now for the final lap if he wants to be able to keep that second position. When Connor Parisi doesn't take to the Joker, we'll have to wait and see when Parisi takes to the Joker. There he is, through turns 1 and 2, and he's going to take to the Joker now. Final lap of the race. Where is he going to come out?
Oh!
Just ahead, side by side as they came out, but the extra speed that Parisi had allowed him to keep it. A little bit on the handbrake there. Big lock up behind. Is he only going to stick it up the inside? No, he's not. He's going to have to settle for third position in heat number 4. That will send him to the consolation grid, as Cabot Bigham and Killian Delolmo finished side by side. And that was, I believe, well, there it is on screen, Tommy Mäkinen for Mountain Motorsports down in 6th. But it is Otto Taskinen and Connor Parisi who will head to the feature. Oh, yeah, and to the feature. And then Joni Alakainen, Cabot Bigham, and Killian Delolmo will head to the constellation. Here is the grid for the first of those constellations, the C Main, here on the iRacing Rally Cross World Championship, presented by Yokohama Tires. Jonathan Paya starting in 6th position for Apex Racing Team and Jim Beaver Esports. Bo Albert lines up alongside Josh Fox on the front row of the grid. Ilaria Lemenstevu, round 1 winner, and Henrik Krogstad on row number 2. Then we've got Garrett Lowe and Jonathan Paya, Alexi Heikkinen and Tommy Holman, and then right at the back is Marcos Matamoros. All the cars are on the grid, all 9 cars. It's the largest grid we have seen so far here at Iowa. The lights are on and we are ready to race. And we go green for the first of the constellations. It's a bad start for Fox. He just has to cut off the Menzigu as they head through the final corner now. Bo Albert's been left behind. He got pushed out to the outside. He's dropping down the field as well. But it is Fox who holds the lead. Ilaria Lemenstevu trying to go around the outside. That's Paya on the grass. You don't want to be heading there. He's going to be forced onto the Joker. as was, I believe, that is Ilaria Lamansivu, who's going to take the lead of this race as they come around the final couple of corners now. These are the 3 drivers who have taken to the Joker, and these are the 6 drivers who haven't. There's Garrett Lowe there. Garrett Lowe, interestingly, the only person to have ever won a feature race, having been in a constellation in that same round, and it was here at Iowa 2 years ago in 2018 season. He is currently in 4th, and only the winner makes it through from this constellation into the feature.
Yeah, you'd hate to see a driver feel like they have to take the Joker simply because of where they are on the track, but so it goes sometimes.
Oh, and Tommy Holman felt pressured there to take the Joker. He felt the pressure from Ilaria Lamansivu. They're side by side through the final section of corners, side by side over the jump. It looks like Holman has the advantage. Ilaria Lamansivu sends it up the inside in turn 1, but Holman just manages to stay ahead. For Set Esports, he has got the advantage here as they head through the S's in towards Hairpin Central, as I've heard John Robertson describe it. Into the first and now into the second of the hairpin to see where the track is rubbered in, but all of the drivers taking the same line up onto the NASCAR oval and then back down onto the apron, taking the shortest route possible. Who's that? Is that Capabella maybe? No, I think that's Henrik Krogstad, who sent it up the inside of the final corner, took to the Joker on lap number 3. Now onto lap number 4, but he's up into second. He almost had that then.
Yeah, that seemed to really work out for Krogstad. He just shot his way right up into P2.
Almost had the lead as well, but remember the lead is the only thing that counts. But look on the timing tower, 8.6 seconds is the gap to Josh Fox. There goes Garrett Lowe onto the Joker. Where is he going to come out? And he comes out ahead of Krogstad into second position, but the gap between Tommy Holman and Josh Fox is 8.4 seconds, and our Lamansivu is turned around.
Krogstad's got to be annoyed by that move by Lowe there, being as how he just got away with it himself a lap ago.
Absolutely, but Josh Fox just 9 seconds. The Constellation's only 5 laps long. He's going to take to the Joker now. Josh Fox is going to come out well into the lead of this race. There he goes. That's a huge gap for him. He took advantage of all the drivers who have Jokered battling out in front, and he has now got a pretty much 2-second lead over Tommy Holman, coming out the final sequence of corners, and Josh Fox for Hanson Williams Esports will take the 9th spot on the feature grid. Everyone else is going to take their consolation points, but they will play no further role in the evening's proceedings. Results up on the screen then. Josh Fox with a 1.7 second lead over the line to Tommy Holman. Then it was Bo Albert, Garrett Lowe, Henrik Krogstad, Marcos Matamoros, Jonathan Paya, Alexei Heikkinen, and Ilaria Lamansivu, who got spun around on the final lap, or the penultimate lap actually. Jake Robertson will start on pole then for Apex Racing Team and Ed Carpenter Racing for the second of the consolation races, the B main. Joni Alkainen will line up alongside him. Round 2 winner from Daytona, of course, and also the highest rated or highest ranked rookie for this season, winning the Pro Series just a few weeks ago. Adria Perez will start on in the third position, but I have no time to finish the rest of the grid. The drivers' revs are already rising. The lights are on for the final consolation race here at Iowa. And we go green. It's a good start from Robertson. He gets the jump over Adria Perez and Olakainen, who is on his outside. He just has to stay tight to the inside now, and he has got an advantage. Oh, no! Oh, and big contact there. He just got the jump a little bit wrong. He's still rolling. Gets back on all 4 wheels. That is his evening over, I'm afraid. I think he's actually retired from the race as well. So unfortunate. Joni Olakainen did absolutely nothing there, just ran alongside him. Jake just hit the jump wrong and just slammed into the timing poles. So unfortunate for him. Joni Olakainen surely then has to be the favourite for the win of this consolation.
Yeah, unfortunate, unforced error there, as it looked to me, just as you said. You hate to see that, but that is racing for you, especially in this kind of low grip situation.
And there goes Killian Delolmo. He's going to go through the Joker around the outside of Henrik Krogstad. He goes. Still side by side into the final sequence of corners. Delormo around the outside, which will become the inside. He gets a bit of a squeeze. They come together. Here comes Garrett Maines. 3 wide over the jump through the timing tower. Garrett Maines just has to settle for second position. A little bit of a tap from Henry Krogstad just behind. But Delormo retakes the lead. I say the lead. Danny Matrani hasn't joked yet, and he goes back down to 6th. The timing tower still sorting itself out just a little bit. Sindre Silva would have been right up alongside these guys as Maines actually heads into the lead of this race. I missed that right now. Oh, and that's an awful exit for Delormo, but luckily for him, it was just as bad for Macklin just behind. Sorry, Krogstad just behind. Not Krogstad, that's Cabot Bigham just behind. I've been calling him Krogstad. Very similar looking cars. Yeah, very similar liveries. Maines looking good, but look at the delta once again. 7.8 seconds to Joni Olokainen. He's going to come out a good 2.5, possibly 3 seconds ahead if he takes the Joker. There he goes for the Joker. He doesn't have the final lap. We're used to seeing this from Joni Olokainen. He always does love a good Joker overtake, and he's got over 3 seconds to Garrett Maines. He comes out of the Joker, so it looks like he is very much in the prime position as he comes to cross the line for the penultimate time. There's a big block up from Sindre Silva there. Sorry, that's not Sindre Silva, that's Danny Matrani, Nitro Circus teammates. Oh, and look at that, Delormo trying around the outside, very sideways. That's allowed Mäkinen. Oh, is it Mäkinen that's gone up the inside there? It is Mäkinen.
Yeah, it's left the door open for him, but they're still fighting for it.
Oh, a little bit of bumping as well.
Oh, look at this. Delormo and Mäkinen really going at it out there, elbows out.
Elbows up for sure, but there goes Joni Olokainen. Up and over the jump he goes to take the final transfer spot on today's grid for the feature race. And that was a fantastic performance for Joni Olokainen. Just kept himself out of trouble. Unlucky for Jake Robertson, who'll finish down in 8th. He'll pretty much score minimum points for that. And we are now heading into a 5-minute warm-up. Here are the B main, the second consolation results on screen. Joni Olokainen will head to the feature. We now have a 5-minute warm-up session, and it is time for a quick word from a couple of our sponsors, Virtual Racing School and SDK Gaming.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to round number 4 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama. I am Dane Baird, and alongside me once again is Jim Hodgson. Jim, that was a really action-packed first 6 races, and we've got a 10-lap feature up in just a few moments. You can see on screen the drivers are currently in their warm-up. And something that's really interesting is that the Subaru is quicker on a fresh circuit. You can see the dirt has worn a little bit. Anyone in this feature race, and I believe there's only one driver in this feature race in the VW, who is Vincente Salas, is going to be getting as many laps done as possible to try and wear down that track to get a little bit of an advantage.
Well, every little bit helps. You almost imagine him out there with a plow attachment on the rear of the car.
Well, that would be very interesting to see, especially considering they're in the sim. But Johan Harth then on pole position. He's got his teammate John Robertson alongside. There they are on the top right. Johan Harth getting a little bit of neck mobility done before the race, getting himself in the zone. John Robertson will line up alongside him, of course. Mitchell de Jong, 2018 champion, in third. Otto Taskinen starting in fourth, just behind John Robertson. Then Rasmus Tuonen in fifth, Bobby Zensky in sixth, Vincente Salas in seventh, Conor Parisi in eighth, Josh Fox in ninth, and Joni Olakainen in 10th. The last two came straight out of our consolation races. But now it's going to be really interesting to see how can Johan Harth do at the start. We've seen the starts all season. They've been absolutely lightning fast. And I'm sure he's going to be trying to fend off from the 2018 champion Mitchell de Jong, who will be starting right behind him. And if he gets a good enough launch on, he'll be able to shut the door straight away before they even reach the final corner. And that will be the ideal start to his race. It will also be interesting to see who takes the Joker on the first lap.
Kind of surprising to me to see Olakainen this far down in P10. What are your thoughts?
Well, we know how quick he is. He just got sent to the consolation, where he absolutely dominated, of course, but that is where you end up in the second consolation race. You win the consolation, you start last in the feature. As all the drivers, bar one of Otto Taskinen, he's going to line up in his very bright green, there it is, green Razor Williams eSports car. This is it then. All of the drivers are on the grid. The largest grid we will see all day. The lights are on then. Revs are rising for the final time here at Iowa Speedway for round 4. And we go green. It's an instant block from Johan Harth to Mitchell de Jong. He gets that block in as soon as possible. John Robertson is sent off the circuit. Johan Harth still leads, but I want to see what happens to John Robertson. Oh, he's all the way down in 4th position now. Not the end of the world. He can still make up a lot of that time back. Mitchell de Jong goes Joker. John Robertson decides not to. It was a pretty late decision not to. You can see he's a little bit squirrely on the right-hand side of the screen. But it is Johan Harth who leads. Mitchell de Jong leads overall. He went straight into the Joker on lap number 1, but it was a very harsh defensive block from Johan Harth at the start there.
Yeah, that looked like an intentional move to me to try to cover off the inside of that turn. It does seem to have paid off for him, but caused chaos on down the ranks.
Absolutely, Mitchell de Jong caught out a little bit wide there and just ended up slamming to the side of John. You can see both cameras now focusing on John. That was Joni Olakainen who went into the Joker on lap number 2 of 10 laps in the feature race. And here we go then. Johan Harth in his number 90 car. He is maintaining that gap between himself and I believe that is, who is that actually in the red set esports car? So there is John Robertson just behind him, and behind that is Bobby Zelensky in the Subaru Motorsports USA. No one going to the Joker this time by. I think I might have actually seen Vincente Salas go into the Joker. Yes, I did. And he's just popped out just behind, or just in front of, Josh Fox and Conor Parisi. So Harth leading the driver to having Joker. Remember, this Joker Delta, 11.3 seconds. Johan Harth, 9.9 seconds. Here's the gap between him and the current leader, Mitchell de Jong.
And I believe that's Tuominen, whom Harth is leading there. Kind of, it seems like they have a little lead car pack of 2 there.
Oh, and Haas straight into the Joker then. Robertson is not going to join him. Oh, a little bit of a tap to the wall for Johan Haas. That's not going to impact him too much. These cars are pretty robust when it comes to damage. But Haas, look at that. That's a fairly hefty gap out in front. He's going to be very happy with that indeed. John Robertson coming around the final couple of corners now. You can really see the difference between John Robertson. He was 1, maybe 2 seconds behind Johan Haas when he took to the Joker, and now he is almost half a lap behind. Well, at least it seems that way. Is he going to take to the Joker on lap 5? No, he's not. Halfway through the race, Johan Haas leads.
You can almost imagine Harth now twisting the ends of his mustache as the plan has come together.
Well, you can see him. Oh, look at the jump. Is not what he needed. He manages to catch that incredible car control. I actually saw that on his car, on his in-rig camera. His reaction, he was very worried about that. Big mistake from Johan Haas. Unfortunately, that has allowed Mitchell de Jong to climb right onto his bumper. John not opting for the Joker this time by a little bit of bump from Mitchell de Jong behind. Johan Haas is definitely now feeling the pressure. If I'm not mistaken, Johan Haas is currently on the first master TSPC racer with an open Formula wheel. As he comes over the jump, Mitchell de Jong, I thought he might have been side by side, but he just has managed to maintain that gap. Now I believe John Robertson is just starting the next one. He's caught up to some of the drivers who Joker as John, so you can see when he takes to the Joker eventually. I think he might just do it now. No, he doesn't, because the driver ahead of him does. That's Rasmus Tuominen. He managed to close down that gap. But the biggest thing in Rallycross that you need... Oh, and there's a bit of a punt from behind. From... Who was that? That was Bobby Zelensky. Johan Haas still under pressure from de Jong, but Robertson gets a little bit of a tap from behind as they have 3 laps to go.
Unfortunate. It does seem that Tuominen maybe lost out a little bit here. I'm sure he would like to have, been in P2 or better after his Joker, but it just doesn't seem to have panned out that way for him.
Zelensky is just taking to the Joker. He's going to come out in 4th position, and that is where we're expecting John to end up. Here we are then starting at lap 9 of 10 here at Iowa. Johan Haas on the left-hand side. Oh, look how close Mitchell got there. He clatters the blue turtle curbs through turns 1 and 2. You could just see how close Mitchell de Jong is on the right-hand side of the screen. There is a little bit of contact allowed on Rallycross, of course. You can move people just a bit, but within reason. John Robertson's just taken to the Joker. He's come out in 4th position, just ahead of Zelensky by around about half a second. As Johan Haas then starting lap 10 of 10. White flag here at Iowa Speedway. He has got Mitchell de Jong for company. John Robertson in 4th with Bobby Zelensky for company. It's a battle between Team Yokohama Advan and Team Subaru Motorsports USA here.
A slightly ragged lap from Harth there, bouncing over the turtles, as you said a moment ago, but seems to have controlled the car as he gets a little tap in the rear, but manages to stay in the lead.
He's going to have to defend the inside line here now. Yes, he does. De Jong tries to go all the way around the outside. It's not going to work for him. Big block from Johan Haas. He's going to come across the line to win the feature here for round number 4. Great driving from Johan Haas. John Robertson finishes in 4th. And that is a pretty good result for them both. Robertson really unfortunate with that lap 0 turn 1 incident. But Johan Haas wins the feature race here. You can see he was sigh of relief on the cameras on the top right hand side of the screen. That was very sketchy at the end there between himself and Mitchell de Jong. Good racing between the two of them. But you can see the emotion in his face there.
He's taking a couple of deep breaths there. I think we all feel the same way watching the end of that race.
Oh, I know why. He's doing donuts and he's happy. He's happy because he's doing donuts. We saw, if you watched last week, and if you follow Apex Racing Team on social media, you would have seen a video of Johan Hart not doing the best job of some donuts last week, where he finished second at Atlanta Motor Speedway, ending up in a fence trying to do some donuts. He's obviously done some donuts practice, and he's managed to get the donuts going perfectly this time out for his first win of the season then. Johan Hart wins by Mitchell de Jong 0.3 seconds, separating the two across the line. Rasmus Tuominen a further half a second back. John Robertson, the championship leader, extends his lead over Joni Ollikainen by a few points with that 4th position. And Johan Hart has just done the Rallycross clean sweep, pole position, winning a seat, and he has won the feature.
Well, I think it's going to really play into Hart's hands in terms of championship standings. He was in 3rd place coming into the race tonight. I think it's going to see him move up a little bit.
Absolutely. The gap between Johan Hart in 3rd and Joni Ollikainen in 2nd was 3 points. And considering that Hart won his heat, got pole position, you get points for pole position, you get points for winning your heat. Joni Ollikainen had an awful heat and also a pretty awful constellation starting right at the back of that, but he's managed to come up to 6th. So Johan Hart definitely going to be leapfrogging him and extending his 2-point advantage over Mitchell de Jong, who I'm sure is going to also leapfrog Joni Ollikainen as well. So Johan Hart up into 2nd then, I believe. John Robertson's going to extend his advantage at the top of the standings, so it is going to be a 1-2 at the top of the championship standings for Team Yokohama Advan, which in turn will mean that Team Yokohama Advan are going to be leading the team's championship by an even bigger margin than before. So it's a fantastic week once again here at Iowa for Team Yokohama Advan. We will get the drivers in for an interview, both of them each. We're going to take a quick break though for now, for a message from some of our sponsors.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to round 4 of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship presented by Yokohama. And we have got Mr. John Robertson, championship leader. 4th place for you today in the feature, but you did very well in your heat race, obviously winning that by quite some distance and extending your advantage at the top of the table. So you must be fairly happy with that result.
Yeah, qualifying in the heats, they were pretty good. It was a shame on lap 2 of the feature, we just picked up some damage, so that kind of ruled out the podium for us, but to recover to P4, I was over the moon with that.
Well, talk us through the start of that feature then. What happened? We didn't really see what happened to you. We were focusing on Johan walking away with the lead. I think it might have been in contact with Mitchell, maybe.
I still don't know. I going through T1, I just got a massive whack on the rear right. I got a little bit of damage off that. Somehow managed to gather it back up, and I ended up P4 coming over the jump lap 1. But yeah, it wasn't an ideal start to the race.
Yeah, not an ideal start to the race at all, but you had some substantial pressure on you from Zelensky behind. Obviously, you can be pretty confident that you're going to be faster than him, but with the damage, did that have a bit of a psychological effect, maybe?
Not psychological, it was just mainly engine braking. I had to brake a lot earlier because I didn't have that, so he was right on my bumper at the apexes. We had a little touch, which cost us some time, but yeah, I managed to hold him off. I managed to get a really good lap just before I jokered, which I think that kind of secured the P4 for me, but yeah.
Well, provisionally, it seems as though you've got a 13-point lead at the top of the championship standings, which is a pretty substantial gap heading into round 5. We're going back to hell. You didn't have the best of rounds at hell in round number 1, but what are you thinking heading into round number 5 with that fairly large gap? It's actually 20 points if you discount Johan.
Yeah, we're feeling really confident. Qualifying was decent at hell last time, and we think we've figured out a few things, so looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, John, congrats on extending your lead at the top of the championship standings. Good luck for next week at Hell. Thanks for joining us. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to on Apex Racing TV?
Yeah, thank you to Yokohama, SDK Gaming, Simputers, everyone at Apex for the setup work this week, and you guys for the broadcast.
Oh, John, thank you so much for joining us for a word. And I believe we might have the championship standings ready for everybody, but we'll have to potentially wait after that. But we do have Jim Hodgson waiting with Johan Harth in just a few moments. But Jim, it was good to speak to John, and he didn't seem very disappointed with that result. He seemed pretty happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Seemed confident. Seemed like the day sort of went the way that he hoped, if not completely. Certainly an acceptable result.
Absolutely. P4 on the World Championship stage is definitely nothing to be ashamed of at all. Still waiting just a few more moments for Johan Harth to be ready. I believe, Jim, we've got him ready for you now.
All right. There he is. Johan, you must be feeling on top of the world at the moment. We saw the emotion in your gestures and your face. Tell us how you're feeling.
I feel pretty good. Yeah, I feel that was amazing. That was really good. This morning my wheelbase died. I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to race, and there I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you've shown us that it's the skill is in the hands, not in the tools, right?
It's almost the same wheel, so I didn't really change me that much, but yeah, still had to adapt to a T300 over TSPC, so it wasn't that easy. But yeah, super happy with that one.
So you had a little moment there, just toward the end of the feature race. We thought we were going to have a terrible accident. Can you walk us through what your heart rate was doing there?
I was it was pretty high. Yeah, so I didn't expect to have that much grip on the jump, and the car just shot right on the jump and got sent almost into the wall, like what happened to Jake Robertson in the B main. Yeah, I think it was in the B main. Got sent into the buyer, and yeah, I don't know how I saved that. Don't even know if I had something to do with it, but pretty happy I saved it.
Yeah, yeah, we were pretty happy as well. We saw you really rowing left and right on the wheel there, but managed to keep it together. And it looked like you sort of had that in your mind for the rest of the race, but it really went your way today. And provisionally, it looks like you have clawed your way up into P2 in championship standings. How's that feel?
Oh. Excuse me, Alex. What do you say?
He was just letting us know that they're going to
Oh.
try to bring the standings up.
Okay. So yeah, well, of course, pretty happy with that P2 and really good team result as well because we're still putting away in the teams championship with Team Yokohama because John got a pretty good result today as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
Feels
big
good.
haul
Feels
of
good so
points
far.
for. Sorry to speak over the air, but big haul of points for you guys today. You've got to be thrilled.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled. Hopefully we can keep it up for the next few rounds.
I would say it's pretty likely based on the performance we've seen today. Anybody you'd like to shout out today?
Well, of course, John and Jake for all the work this week. The car was amazing as always. Team Yokohama for the support, Simputers and SDK our sponsors, and you guys for the broadcast.
Well, we have to thank you. It was a lot of fun today. There were some finger biting moments, and but also some great emotion today. So thank you so much, Johan. We're looking forward to seeing you race.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, it was very good to hear from Johan then. It's a fantastic result for him. He becomes the latest driver to do a Rallycross clean sweep in the iRacing Rallycross World Championship. I believe he did that last season as well in the Sonoma round. That is definitely one of his favorite circuits. You can see him having a little bit of a chat on the team radio between the two drivers, but that pretty much wraps things up then. It was a fantastic performance from the Team Yokohama drivers as well. Although I'm being told that we have got potentially the championship standings ready in just a few moments' time. But it looks like John Robertson's extended his gap. Johan Harth has moved up into second. And there is now a pretty substantial lead for Team Yokohama in the Teams Championship as well. Obviously, with the two drivers leading 1-2 in the standings, Jim, that definitely helps a lot when you're going for a team championship as well.
Yeah, what a day. Big haul of points for those guys, as you say. You know, a couple of the races there today, it looked like somebody had taken the cars in their hand and spilled them out across the course like a bunch of dice out of a cup. But, you know, it made for a whole lot of great looking racing. I certainly enjoyed myself.
Absolutely. It's worth noting that both of those drivers, John Robertson and Johan Harth, are setup creators and data pack creators for the Apex Racing Academy for the Rallycross cars, as well as some other things. But here we are then. Championship standings up on the screen then. John Robertson with 93 points up at the top, 13 points ahead of his teammate Johan Harth. Then we have Mitchell de Jong, a further 7 points back. And then it's the two set esports drivers of Joni Olakainen and Tommy Holman. Then the second of the Subaru Motorsports USA drivers, Bobby Zelensky, Mitchell de Jong's teammate, in sixth. And then the rest of the drivers down that list of 18. There are 28 drivers in the championship. Big news, if you're a regular of the iRacing Rallycross World Championship, you might have noticed Sammy Matty Trogan for Williams Esports will not be taking part in the rest of the championship. 2019 world champion, of course, and he has other commitments, which means he's had to get rid of some of them. And unfortunately, one of those has had to be the iRX World Championship. So we hope to see him back in the future. But for the considerable future, it means that he's not going to be with us, Jim. And that's a pretty big one because there's only two world champions world so far. And one of them isn't even racing for the rest of the season. That must take a little bit of the pressure off of John's shoulders.
Yeah, you would think. You know, you don't like to back into success like that necessarily. I mean, we're all competitors and interested in competition, but that's the way it goes. If your guy doesn't show up, then you can't very well win.
Well, that's exactly right. But then it's been a fantastic drive from the two Team Yokohama drivers in round number 4 here at Iowa. Join us next week for the Team Yokohama team stream as well. We're going back to hell. We went there for round number 1. We're going back for round number 5. It's going to be a great round, I'm sure. Thanks everyone for watching. We hope to see you next time out on Apex Racing TV. But for now, from me, from Jim, from Alex Simpson and Mark Tranter in production, and everyone else here at Apex Racing UK, I wish you a good night and happy racing.